I mean, you presumably started in television at a time when it was much more, if you like, sort of regulated, in the sense that you went to a commissioning editor and all the rest, and then basically had to get the funding from that, and then you went off and made the film. Isn't that how it happens?
That's exactly right, which was obviously very hard if you happen to be sort of slightly libertarian leaning in your views, because you've got to slot in with the views of the institution that you're pitching to. So the BBC, I always had great difficulty getting anything away with. I did do a film for the BBC once, but the crack came with Channel 4. I mean, Channel 4, I did quite a few films with. Channel 4, of course, was set up by Margaret Thatcher, and part of the remit of Channel 4 was to be countercultural and to go against the prevailing wisdom. And so they had to take films from people who didn't sort of quite fit in. Yeah. Channel 4 has historically been, and is today very much, very left-leaning, very woke, as we call it these days. But there was, in the past, some sort of sympathetic commissioning editors in there who would countenance having kind of radical films which didn't fit in with that, and so I got a few opportunities.
Has that changed? I mean, you say that in those days you got people who would take a chance or whatever. Do you think that the perception that the media world in which you operate has become more closed, if you like, has become less tolerant of new? Do you think that's a real perception, an honest one? Do you think it's one that is right?
Totally honest. I mean, totally, it's absolutely right. The BBC is an organisation which represents the views of the people who work at the BBC. You know, the pro-state, big tax, big regulating views of the new class who work there. And likewise with Channel 4. It's not. I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't even say it's an open secret. It's not a secret. You know, everyone at Channel 4 knows what Channel 4 does. Everyone at the BBC knows that. No way in the world are they going to do a film on the BBC saying the theory of climate change is nonsense. No way are they going to do a countenance doing a pro-Brexit film or anything like that. It's very clear that that's what the mainstream media is.
I mean, we're recording this in London, and London is a Remainer city. You work in what is a Remainer industry, isn't it, without question? Do you find that there is this kind of just, people are beside themselves with anger about it? I mean, I found that, you talk about class, there have been all sorts of things have re-emerged, and not least of all, good old-fashioned snobbery, for example.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the snobbish Remainers, what an absolute phenomenon that is. No, it's entirely right. I mean the media is utterly Remain industry, and the vitriol, the absolute sort of their eyes glow red and their tails lash. They're absolutely furious, and it sort of makes me delighted in a way, because I realise what a huge blow the Brexit vote was to this class. They thought they had things stitched up. They, we were drifting towards the EU. The EU is full of jobs and grants, and the general ethos is that of those sorts of people being in charge through their various organisations and institutions. The intelligentsia, the largely state-funded intelligentsia, it's their project, and it was an expression of their power, and we have just kicked a great hole beneath the waterline, and they are, it's almost an existential assault on them. It is awful. The oiks, the deplorables, are up and at it, and so the angrier they get, in a way, the more delighted we should be.